Okay, so I want to end just with a couple of points talking about what it's been like and some of the lessons you've learned building Ezra. And one of the questions I always want to ask for founders listening to this, everyone just building a company it's an emotional exercise. You have super high highs, you have super low lows. So I'm curious for you, what high and what low comes to mind that you've had on the experience building Ezra so far that you'd be open to sharing?
Yeah, so the biggest high was when we found cancer for the first patient, and that patient reached out to us after having gotten treated, and he was like, "You saved my life." Actually, the I remember the email that he sent me an email directly, and the title of the email was "Ezra saved my life," and then he wrote a heartfelt, long email about how we saved his life, and that was the peak of my Ezra experience was that very moment. The lowest of the low was when the pandemic hit, and we went from scanning, hundreds of people a month to scanning zero people a month because um, just like facilities were shut down, everything was shut down, and it was hard for the business, but it was also hard because I knew kind of intuitively because of what I do that a lot of people will find cancer late because we're going to have a period of 12, 18 months where nobody's going to get screened, or very few people are going to get screened. And as it turns out, we about 4 or 5 months into the pandemic, we started scanning people again and everything was fine. But I've started seeing data from like the UK, for example. They published a big study showing that late stage breast cancer increased by like 20%, like an astronomical number, because women skipped the mammo cycle. So kind of that moment during the pandemic was the lowest. I will say though, kind of there's that quote from Elon Musk that I always come back to, which is like building a startup is like chewing glass while staring into the abyss. That's how I feel most days. It's kind of like I love what we do at Ezra. We're building important things. It's great work, and we find cancer for folks. But it's hard. It's like building a startup, especially building a startup in healthcare, is incredibly hard. And so those weekly reminders when we do something good for someone are useful to help us keep going. But most of the work that goes into building a startup is just hard work that requires a lot of discipline. And I think not enough founders talk about that.
Yeah, no, it's like the outcomes, finding cancer for people, which is the whole mission of the company, is incredibly gratifying, but the work to get there is incredibly dull. You have to just do that every day.
Do that every day and wake up and like set the goals and just pursue them. And it's especially hard when you're doing something incredibly new in a really difficult space. We're trying to literally find cancer for folks with a new technology. So
No, I have a lot of empathy for what you're going through.
thank you.